I'm also looking big picture saying if we're cutting rates like that, we got a lot more problems. And I don't think that is going to cause housing prices to explode. So I don't know about you, but a lot of people have been calling for a housing price collapse for ages, like months and months, years and years. You know, there's always people out there who are calling for the collapse of one thing or another. But Barbara Corcoran of the Sharks, right, one of the Shark Tanks, that's her right there, is saying housing prices are about to go through the roof. Now, if you are already in a home, like that dream of home ownership may have evaporated. It's been absolutely crazy, right? I've talked about this before, but if I were to buy the home that I live in today with interest rates being higher, with the price appreciation for when I bought it, and I only bought it in 2016, so I've only been in it for 8 years at this point. It'll be 8 years in about 3 weeks. So yeah, it would cost more than 3 times as much per month to buy it, right? I'm talking my mortgage would be nearly 3, almost 4 times as high if I were to buy it today versus what I did 8 years ago. And a lot of people are outside of this market looking in going, man, if only I had bought a house 8 years ago, right? Or if only I'd bought a house 20 years ago. And so a lot of people are really struggling who want to be in this housing market. And they're like, oh man, dear Lord Jesus. Now, I'm not actually praying for this. Please let the price come down on all of these houses so I can buy one. That's what people are saying, right? But Barbara Corcoran saying, hey, houses are about to go through the roof. When the Fed lowers rates, people will come out and buy. Now, that's another question here. Do you think the Fed's going to lower rates? I have the privilege to work with lots of financial institutions, doing lots of consulting with them. And that is my current thesis right now. We have a very disjointed economy because people want to tell you how great things are, right? Those in charge will tell you how jobs are growing like crazy, tell you how inflation's come down so much. They'll tell you how happy the consumers are. But when you look under the surface, everything's a wreck, right? We've got the job numbers. If you actually look at the job numbers and watch them and pay attention, and I talk about this on the show all the time, so just follow along. If you actually watch, they have revised the numbers down almost by the entirety of every month's gains for ages. So for example, if they say we've gained 150,000 in March, they're going to quietly revise down February to say we actually didn't gain 150,000 in February. We might have gained like 25,000 or so. And that cycle just repeats over and over. And at the end of last year, they were off by 400,000. They had revised off 400,000 jobs at the end of 2023. And they want to continue to tell you that, hey, this is the greatest economy of all time. And that's why people are out there swiping their credit cards because they're happy to go and spend. But we all know the truth is that everything costs more. And a lot of people are really struggling. So in order to buy groceries, in order to afford their daily lives, people are having to rack up debt in a way that they never did before. And now credit cards are hitting the highest levels they've ever been, ever, with rates that are the highest they've ever been on credit cards, right? And then inflation, you want to get me started on that soapbox? Good gravy. Yes, inflation is down from its peak of 9%. But inflation at 3% still means that prices are rising. They're just not rising as fast. That's the part that really grinds my gears, is they want to tell you inflation's fixed. Everything's back to normal. What are you complaining about? Inflation is not fixed. It may be slowing down, but it's just like if you were punching the gas all the way down and then you let off the gas, you're still pushing the gas. At no point have you ever touched the brake. Prices have not started to come back down. So I have a lot of impetus in saying that and that's just the beginning, right? Don't even get me started on delinquencies and things of that nature, which are hitting highs not seen since 2008. Okay, I'm going down that road. Not seen since 2008 during the midst of the financial crisis yet. What crisis? What crisis is there? Why are we having so many defaults? Why are we having so many people declare bankruptcy and have delinquencies when there's no crisis? Well, like, what are you guys even talking about? Everything's fine. So yeah, I do think the Fed will lower rates before they raise rates again. And that's what Barbara's saying here, is that once rates go down, people are going to be able to afford more of a home for sure. So they're going to be looking to buy. I can't explain the rates going up or down. That's not my ballywick. But I can explain is if rates go down just another percentage point, that's what I'm hoping for. Prices are going to shoot through the roof. She's talking about home prices. Everyone will come out and buy. There'll probably be 10 buyers on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to come down that are actually active in the market. So everybody's going to be watching the market. I think she's exactly correct. Exactly correct. That's what I've been saying, right? There's so many people who want to be in the market, but they can't because they're priced out. And that was the whole point of raising rates. Hear me out. Let's do a little economic theory 101. When the Fed decides to raise rates, right? Everybody across the board is raising their rates because of that. Now, when they say, I could have bought a house at 3.5%, but rates have doubled, let's say up to 7%. Now, the only way that I can afford the home for the payment that I want to pay is if the seller lowers their price, right? If I can't change the financing aspect, the only way I can get it for the price that I need is if the seller lowers its price. That was how they offset and try and combat inflation, right? Is by raising rates, it causes goods to have to be priced lower in order to overcome that. Now, a lot of companies figured out shrinkflation, bruh. Shrinkflation. I'm going to give you 80% of the candy bar you used to have. I'm going to give you 70% of the bag of chips you used to have, but I'm still going to charge you the same. So we don't actually have to lower the price. We can actually make more profits this way, right? We've all seen that. But that's the whole point behind raising rates is it should push prices down in order to find buyers. The Fed, though, has left interest rates unchanged for the 5th straight time in its latest meeting, clarifying their plans to cut rates may be pushed out further, but remain committed to 3 rate hikes this year, which is crazy to think about. The decision, which was widely expected, keeps the Federal Reserve between 5.25, 5.5, which is a 22-year high. Keeps rates for mortgages and credit cards at elevated levels. If you wait for interest rates to come down by another point, I don't think you'll gain. I think you'll wind up paying more. I don't know. I think she's definitely onto something here, but I don't know if it's going to cause the price of homes to go up, because if the Fed's lowering rates, you know what that means? The economy's in real trouble. Real trouble. The only way the Fed is going to cut rates like we had seen is a big event, right? Like COVID, like the 2008 financial issues that happened there. The only way that we're going to see rates cut back down to like we had been accustomed to for a decade at this point is if a huge major financial issue happens. And if that happens, people are not going to be stoked to pay your price for your house. They're going to demand lower prices on that house. And you in that house may be saying, I got to unload this as fast as possible. I have my own financial issues to deal with. So you're going to be cutting the house in price. So while I see her point, I'm also looking big picture saying, if we're cutting rates like that, we got a lot more problems. And I don't think that is going to cause housing prices to explode, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments where I'm wrong. Let's take a look at a home builder, D.R. Horton, right? D.R. Horton. Let's take a look at its AI trading data. And we can see here on, let's see, March 26th. So about a week ago, we actually got a buy signal on D.R. Horton. And following these signals, right? We've got these signals going back for years. Following these signals, you would have seen a 129.18% return on DR Horton. So these are crazy, crazy good signals here that you definitely want to get your hands on. Like I've been saying, we are in the last week of this deal. Do go and get this lifetime deal while it's available. You got about 1 week left for a 99-ish% discount when you consider that's a lifetime license. So go get it while you can. Now let's take a look at what the internet's saying about this, right? I'm very curious. I don't know if people are going to agree or disagree. This person's like, okay. Who cares about housing prices or interest rates? Just be a squatter. The fastest growing trend in the housing market. Woo, that whole squatter issue is something else, isn't it? This person says they already have. They've doubled where I live in the last 3 years. Yeah. And what they're saying is it's going to go even higher. Not if we stop buying. Yep. Depends on why rates are cut. See, that's what I'm saying, right? If we've got some bigger issues going on in the economy, that's going to matter a lot more than just cutting rates, right? If we got bigger issues in the economy, which are cutting the rates, which are causing the rates to be cut, I should say. I'm not sure if housing prices are going up, but let me know in the comments what you think. And do check out one of these 2 videos. YouTube is recommending those to you right now because it thinks, hey, you're going to love those 2. So click on one of those. And thank you so much for watching today's Outlier Live. See you in the next episode.